The idea is that it's a conversation that these people who share the same identity have with each other. It's not a debate. It's not a lecture. It's basically a conversation about the experience that they share.
Starting with 5 minutes, we will have a chance to keep going.
The guidelines on the board, like there's an inner circle and an outer circle. The people on the inner circle are members of a particular identity group. Share your personal experience, your feelings about your identity, not necessarily your philosophy or your political opinions.
Remember, be crisp, be core, say what's real, speak your truth clearly and from your heart. Remember, you might need to listen instead of always talk.
For a long time in my life, I never really considered myself having a racial identity. I never really ever think of myself as a white male.
But that's the hardest part, I think, is caring if I'm hurting other people and just sort of the remorse that comes with that.
Like, time happened, like, me and my friends went to the mall. We got followed around by the store clerk.
Like, a lot of the white people just kind of, like, avoid you because they think, like, that might be, like, a dangerous group of people.
Like, you feel like you're just, like, you might be, like, intimidating someone.
If I, like, try to, like, you know, stand up for, like, women, you know, if somebody says something, like, sexist, or, like, even, like, talking about, like, feminism, a lot of the times, like, boys will be like, oh, well, she's a feminist, like, stay away from her. There's, like, a lot of, like, negativity that, like, comes along with, like, you know, trying to, like, stand up for women.
Yeah, I kind of relate to that. Like, I can think of times when it was, when I felt very aware that I was a woman, but I have more trouble thinking of times when I was very aware of the fact that I was white. Like when I'm with my family, white family, and we're with other white families, and it'll be a group of like 12 of us, and we're just like, you know, hanging out, having dinner or something, and I'll just like realize everyone in this room is white, and I'll realize how long it took me to realize that.
I feel like as a black woman, I'm constantly having to think about like several different aspects of my identity like all at once. And I guess it's really frustrating for me as a woman feeling like black men or other men of color can't, like, they don't understand like the struggles that I go through like as a woman, but then white women don't understand the struggles that I go through like as a black person, and that those two things are always intersecting, and that I'm never just a woman and I'm never just black.
Like when you first come to a school like this and having to I don't know, feeling like you have to be one thing or the other.
I just feel like kind of like the token black person. We were talking about like cultural appropriation for a second, and they were like topic like white people having dreads, you know, they were like, oh yeah, it looks ugly, it's horrible, but is that cultural appropriation? So it's just like, I'm not going to answer this for him, I'm not going to do it. When there's situations like that, like he always kind of hones in on me and my friend, who are like the only two black girls in our class.
It just really hurts sometimes to think about that, like, to just go to a place and just feel like, you know, who's on my side here other than other black women. Yeah, I guess I just feel like we're so alone, like, in our struggle. Yeah. I'm just constantly thinking about that, always.
You know, you hear the different groups, and you can see how much of their consciousness is consumed by negotiating identities that are oppressed by society. So when your identity is not oppressed, you have more mental space.
The fact that I had been taught to listen and be able to listen in silence and be able to listen without arguing.
It seems like so basic. You're really just learning about human interaction and society and like the real issues that face people every day. Like, it seems so important, but people don't want to talk about it.
I'd never thought about being a member of the upper class before, being a white person before.
I think it like really helped me dig down deep into like just trying to feel the similar emotions, even though I can never really share a lot of these experiences.
When we talk about race, like, how do we make things happen? How do we have change? And we always say, like, it starts with small things. That is spreading, just like how it's so prevalent in this group. Like, I'm seeing that and I admire it so much. And the main thing about it is, like, it gets students talking. It feels really good seeing students come from you all's classes and RCG and having them talk about it, because not only are they, again, reiterating how they feel about things, but they're bringing other kids in, calling kids in.
I can sort of more fully appreciate who I am as a person and what parts of my identity which I may not have seen or chosen to see before. And maybe it's a weight thinking about this sort of things every day, but in a way, it's a weight that's also very liberating because it's one that I choose.
Knowing how to use your privilege in a beneficial way. And knowing how to strike that balance, and I think that's very important. And I think, especially recently, that's a big place where race and gender have played a factor for me.
You know, we're still gonna have these like biases, but we have the ability to snap out of it.
And if you are honestly making this a hallmark of your generation, then you are going to effectively make some real changes.